This is, you know, I look at this as, this is my first TIG job. Welding together a project that matters. Well, shit. The rest of them's got about 120. 120, 120, 120. That one's got 70. Okay. Well, folks, welcome back to Random Rod Shop. I had really hoped that I was going to show you how to install that speedometer, but it appears that this transmission shaft is a little harder than I thought it was going to be. I knew it was probably going to be case hardened, but I think this thing is through hardened. And you know, I guess that makes sense. It's just, I didn't anticipate that. Should have, but I didn't. So I have some cobalt drill bits. They sort of got the hole started, but I need that thing about a 1/16 or yeah, probably about a 1/16. So the thing to remember is the goal. My goal is to take the tail housing off, put a drill jig on the end of this shaft, drill a hole in it to hold the little keeper for the speedometer gear, put the speedometer gear on, and put a tail shaft on that I've modified to hold the bullet for the speedometer, and it's done. So to get this drilled, I was standing on the drill press. So that's not going to work underneath the car. I don't know if it's going to work, but I've got a carbide end mill that's the right size. It was supposed to be here yesterday, but apparently it's going to be here tomorrow. We're not going to get to do that today. But to keep along with the TIG welding, you know, from the last video, you saw I'm pretty much an expert on it at this point. I want to go back, and for those of you who watched the project video, you know, the projects for 2024, in some point in there I said that I wanted to put a distributor and a carburetor on a VG30 Nissan engine. It's the V6 that came out in the 300ZXs. So the idea is we're going to put that V6 in that little Datsun 1600 Roadster. Well, another coincidence is that the distributor drive shaft on a small block Chevy actually works really well in terms of matching up with the Datsun Nissan distributor. So this is a Chevrolet distributor shaft, and as near as I can tell, it's the right size for this Nissan bottom distributor housing. This is an HEI off of a V6 Chevrolet, so like a 4.3. My young son's he's got a small lathe that he plays with, so we took a Sawzall and cut the Chevrolet distributor, you know, cut the bottom off of it, and cut the top off of the Nissan distributor. He kind of chucked it up in the lathe and kind of flattened it out, and we took it down to the car and, you know, trying to decide how we should orient this thing. And I think you can see, you know, there's the alignment lines. So what I've been waiting on is, this is aluminum, so I need to TIG it. So, you know, I guess it's karma, right? Last week we learned how to TIG. So, and I didn't get my parts in to finish the transmission. So we're gonna see if we can TIG that distributor together and get that thing set up so we can put that V6 in that Datsun. Now, this is the lower end. This is the lower end off of this distributor. So what I thought I'd do is I'd fire up this TIG, and we're gonna do a little bit of practicing here, you know, before we before we try to do that. But hopefully at the end of this video, we have a distributor that'll work on that Datsun, that Nissan. The thing that makes me optimistic on this is there's real no structure here. I just need to keep them together. And originally, I'm like, you know, I could just JB weld that together. But I wanted to learn how to TIG. All right, so I'm gonna fire this thing up. I'll put the camera a little closer, and probably as in last week, you're gonna have some fun. Let's see here. Well, I guess it was good enough where it was at. So I ground that off and wiped it down with I think I wiped it down with alcohol, so hopefully it's clean enough. Let me get this thing a little closer. Oh, and I got some new stuff. I got some new tungsten. All right. My glasses are fogging up. It's so stinking humid here. It's supposed to start raining in the next hour, and it's going to rain till tonight. That's what it says. Got me some fancy gloves too. Well, this looks like that one didn't work out too bad. I'm wondering, oh, you know what? I think I held the tungsten higher on this one than I did that one. It looks like it's kind of smoothed out all the way around, so it looks like it's actually working. Let me try another one. It's a good thing I bought a pack of 10 on tungsten. Alright, added just a little bit more gas, and I took the cleaning action up just a little bit. I need something to put my pinky on besides that aluminum. That stuff's getting hot. know it doesn't take you long to figure out what all, what all the experts talk about in terms of bad things that can happen. So, it was wide, which I think maybe I need to turn it down a little bit, but the tungsten, I touched the tungsten right there and I ended up with 2 arcs. All right, well, let's fix the tungsten again and let's try it again. Let me get this thing down here a little closer. Well, it still ain't the prettiest, but it looks like, and near as I can tell, it looks like that will actually work. It's still hot. See if I can turn it around here. There we go. So I think I'm gonna move over and we'll see if we can try it on a fresh piece that's far away from, far away from the rest of them. Yeah. Something like right there, and let's see if we can come close to duplicating or improving what we just did. Well, that was better on the tungsten. I must have come close to keeping it out of everything. Because the tip isn't busted into 2 fingers this time. Take your wins. Oops. Where's it at? Oh, it's that one right there. You know what? I think we can weld our distributor. If it don't work, I'll always thought it should have. All right, let me get this thing stood up and cleaned up. And you know what? We're gonna give it a shot. Well, that's gonna be fun. All the confidence I had just went away. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get that thing closer. That's kind of like bubble gum. Makes me wish I would have found the top half to this Nissan distributor, because it didn't heat up the same way as the GM one did. I wonder if it even stuck. Well, it appears that it's stuck on there. Let me back the camera back up. Let's try it again. Definitely going to have to clean up the tungsten on that run. Holy smoke. Well, that was better. Not great, but it was better. I'll get the camera over there. Still got lots of porosity around the edge, but we're going to take the win, because I am pretty sure that thing is attached at this point. Let me continue around this thing, and I'll bring you back. Well, folks, that's a first. I didn't tip that in there. Yes! Now that is like Christmas. Oh yeah, that makes me happy. That definitely makes me happy. That one's gonna make me smile all day long. No aluminum on it that time either. All right. This thing's still hot. All right. You folks out there that know how to TIG weld, I don't want to try to kid you and think this is a good weld, but will it hold this distributor? Yes it will. Well, I think that's a win. It is in my book anyway. I wanted to give you an update on the International and kind of give you a heads up on what's coming up. Let me grab the camera. Before we take this project off of the, the week-to-week thing, I want to get this tailgate operating. Got screws poking out here that I run into, every time I come around here. So I'd like to spend some time getting this tailgate lined out, and I'd like to get the corner of the pickup here welded back together and get this all straightened out. I don't know if you can see that. So the fenders actually fit really well. Let me see if I can, man, the light's bad. But the gap on that fender on this side looks pretty good, and the gap on the other side looks pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with the gaps. If you look at the hood from the front, all right, the gap is even, but the fender needs to be pulled in some. And on this side, I got a bigger gap up front than I do in the back, so this fender needs to come in. And you can see I've got a gap here. Got the power run. Let me get a light. So I pulled the dash off. I was chasing wiring, trying to figure out how to get the lights work. As it turned, I ended up unlooming most of the wiring harness in there, but as it turns out, I had a bad connection. There we go. I had a bad connection on the fuse, which really frustrated me. You can see some rust here. And it's like, well, that's a strange place to rust. Well, that is what you get into when you drag a car in that's been sitting in the pasture for a number of years. Invariably, mice want to get in there, and it's pretty much random where they're going to decide to locate their bathroom. In the case of this pickup, they hollowed out the foam behind that dash pad and they decided to make that their bathroom. Good news for me is most of the time in pickups, they do it on this header panel. They do it on the header panel above the windshield. Up there. Right? So if you find a pickup, it's rusted out up above the windshield up there, 9 times out of 10, it's because the mice got up there and decided that was the prime place for the bathroom. My 67 out there and the 57, they're both rusted out on the eyebrow above the windshield. And I pretty much guarantee that's why they're rusted out. So just something, something to file back in the back of your mind. If it's rusted out up there, it may very well not have a hole up there. That's just where the mice decided to do their business. So, where I'm at right now is I'm just about ready. Once I get I've still got lots of work to do on this thing, but I'm ready to move it kind of to a intermittent activity. I want basically I want to let my son drive this thing back and forth. He lives a couple of miles from me, so I want to let him drive it for a while so we can see if we can work out any of the bugs on it, and you know, before we take it apart, we kind of identify what's going on. I almost forgot. The one piece I got to get on, you can see where I cut the shock mount off. All right, so we got to mount some shocks on this thing. I've driven it down the driveway a little bit and it bounces all over the place, which is kind of what you might think. Battery box, just got to bolt that in. So that's where we're standing. I still want to get that Camaro over here. When I get this out, when I get the International pulled out, pretty quick after that, I want to roll the Camaro over here, finish the sheet metal on that, and get it down on wheels. But while I was cleaning up the yard and trying to get ready for mowing season, it occurred to me I got some stuff I really need to kind of get packaged together so that it can be moved around and out of my way. So I really need to get the 57 cab on a frame. So that's probably the next thing we're going to pull in here. Is I want to pull that Explorer frame in. I want to stretch it 12¼ inches. I don't know if I told you, but the Explorers that I have are the Sport, so they're 101.6 or 7 wheelbase, and the 57 short bed is like 114. So I need to extend the Explorer frame 12¼ inches. So that's what I want to do. I want to stretch that Explorer frame. I want to make the cab bounce and set that 57 cab on it and bolt the front end on it, and then we can drag it out of here. Then I can drag that Camaro over here. But I'd like to get the 57 up on the frame, and you know, up on frames and wheels. It just makes me feel better. Plus, I really don't want to mow around it. I'd just as soon, you know, drag it up and mow and push it back. Okay, I think we're going to call this a video. I appreciate you guys watching. If you hung with me up to this point, man, I really appreciate it. I'm really happy about this. Oh, it's cool enough we can grab it now. Like I say, it's not the prettiest, but this is, you know, I look at this as, this is my first TIG job. Welding together a project that matters. All right. Again, I appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, make a comment, turn on the notification bells, and I'll see you next week.